Hello, this is Sanjay Wadhwani with KMF Business Advisors. So today we are going to look at a fish farm business that's listed for sale on Biz by Sell. Now, this business is located in Clewiston, Florida, which is Ventura County, somewhere close to Lake Okeechobee. I've been there a couple of times. It is really beautiful, man. It's like living in Miami and going there is like, wow, it's so peaceful. But anyways, I cannot stay there for good. But it's a very nice, beautiful, relaxed atmosphere. Sometimes you just want to be out there and relax. Okay, so this business is listed for sale, and the real estate, which is the land, is included in the sale, and the structure, all the structures, there's 144 pools over there. I'll go through the stuff. There's three generators, water pumps, loader, all of this good stuff. Everything you see there is included in the sale of this business with the real estate. There is a mobile home on top of it that's not included. The reason why, because that's given to the employees so that they can manage the business for whoever the new seller is. So this is why the seller does not want to sell the mobile home, just to make sure that the employees stay. Okay. It's a generous seller. But other than that, you have to come and look at this amazing structure over here. There's 144 pools. Man, each of these pools are like, so they have, let me explain you. They have fishes, penny fishes. Penny fishes are like about this much inch, quarter an inch. They're in smaller pools. They're covered because you don't want to expose them to the sun. Listen, I learned a lot from this fish farm. I had no clue what I was getting into, and I was like, wow, this is amazing stuff. Okay. There is not the the business is so easy to manage because once the structure is done, everything is done. It's an amazing concept, man. Just an amazing concept. The fish, you feed them, they eat, and they grow, and this. So penny fishes, they're put into smaller ponds, and each of these ponds have like about 5,000 fishes per pond. Now, this big pool right here has probably about 4 to 8, 10,000 fishes in here. The fishes that are here are like medium size. So penny fishes, they basically cost the seller about 10 cents a piece. Okay. And then by the time they're fully grown to a pound, pound and a half, then the seller sells it to the suppliers. Now, this seller particular does not sell to the uh, local fish farms, to the local fish businesses. The seller can do. There's a lot of growth and expansion opportunities for this business right here, but the seller, he has his own mind. He strictly concentrates on wholesaling to some suppliers, distributors in New York and Canada. He he's happy with what he's doing, but there is a lot of opportunity in expanding this business. Lot of opportunity. Okay, so penny fish costs 10 cents. By the time it hits 1 pound, 1.5 pound, it's sold to it's sold at $3.25 a pound, up to $4.50 a pound. Depends on the season type, depends on the demand, depends on everything. Overall, the net profit on this business is almost close to um, 60%, close to. So think about it. If you do $2 million in sales in this business, 60% is your net profit. If you do $1 million in business, 60% is your net profit. Okay. The overall outcome from the fish to go from penny to a full pound is a process of 8 to 9 months. Depends. Some fishes they grow really fast, and some fishes they just don't grow. So you gotta go, you gotta do it. Okay. So the asking price for this whole concept here is $1.8 million. Okay. They currently have a gross revenue of 1.4 million. Now, like I mentioned to you, 60%. Take 60% of that, that's your net profit. So there is a very good business opportunity, net income opportunity to get here. Now, the farm right now has about $1 million worth of fishes, which is not included in the inventory. But if you want the inventory to be part of it, it's always negotiable. Okay. The land itself, just the land, I'll give you the basics of what is worth what. The infrastructure that you see, that everything that was built here, the seller, when he first built it, it cost him $4.2 million to build the infrastructure. Now, as time goes by, things depreciate because, everything is worn out and this. So, based on the depreciated value, we came at this price. So, there was a professional valuation done for this business. And based on that value, this is how it's priced. The land value over here is almost $60,000 per acre. So if you do 60,000 times 13.72 acres, it's the land itself is worth roughly about 950, 980. Okay. And then the other one, now think about it, the infrastructure which was built almost 10 years ago was at $4.2 million because you got to understand you have to put mud on this land. So this is additional expense. You have to first flat the land out, then you have to put mud on the land, then you got to build the piping, the structures, the irrigation stuff, the water supply stuff, in-ground plumbing. All this is expensive. You and I, we both know that if a pipe gets broken in the house, boom, it's like, what? How did that happen? How you charge me couple $1,000s for a piece of plastic, PVC pipes. But think about take that concept and put it in this almost 14 acre, land. That's a lot of money, my friend. That's invested. The pools, the water. Now, the good thing about the water in Ventura County is they don't get charged for the water. The water is free over there. So that is why the seller decided, you know what, let me go there instead of going somewhere else where just imagine what would the water cost be? Okay. So very interesting concept. You get the infrastructure, 144 pools built, all the irrigation, all the generators, everything that's in ground, off ground, above ground, whatever you see here, the fencing, everything is included in the structure. So basically, let's say if the land value is 950,000, then 850,000, you're getting the rest of them. It's an amazing, amazing deal. You wanna you wanna negotiate on the fishes? Yes, it's negotiable. You want to take half of the fishes, you want to take a quarter of the fishes, you don't want any fishes, the seller has no problem, willing to move forward. Okay. So this one is located in Clewiston, Florida, Hendry County, Montura. Okay. Now, if you are going to go and click on this BLI, then the BLI is right here. Basically, it just gives you a little bit basic insight of what the business is doing. So before it was asking 2.5 million, they recently reduced because we did a new valuation for the business, and that's where it came out to 1.8. Understand why it came 1.8 because the market is dipping down currently. So because this one has real estate included, that is the reason why the price came down. Now, even though the seller is asking $1.8 million doesn't mean that the seller is not willing to negotiate. There is some space to negotiate, so please feel free to sign the NDA. This is very important for us. We make every buyer sign the non-disclosure because we have to protect the seller and how their stuff is, their stuff is done, their concept, the business concept. So we have to protect the seller. Imagine you being a seller, you're giving out all your information to a buyer, and next thing you know, the buyer goes across the street and opens the same business as you. How would you feel, right? So this is just to protect the seller. Once you sign the non-disclosure, no problem. We send you the SIM. You get all the details of the business. If you want more further details, if you want to see the form, if you want to see the form in person, the seller requires copy of proof of funds. Proof of funds, whether it's all cash, whether it's a loan letter, whether you have a 1031 exchange, whether you are willing to purchase this as a E2 visa. We need to see the guidelines from your attorneys. What are the requirements? Whether this business matches that, yes or no. Whatever it is, we got to see that proof of funds in order to give you a tour of the farm here. Okay. So that's that. So you can look at the BLI. Basically, it's very similar information both from the BLI and the listing we have on Biz Buy Sell. Okay. Another thing, the seller is willing to offer seller financing. So over here, he was asking, let me see. Okay. So let's say 70%. You got to bring down 70%. Seller will give you financing for 30%. 30% over the period of, let's say, 5 years, 6 years, whatever it is. We will work something out with you. We'll make sure that the seller walks home happy and you walk home happy. And if you both of you walk home happy, then I walk home happy. I get paid for my work. If not, then we just move forward. Okay. So seller financing, I don't know if you have seen my previous videos. I always say this. If there is seller financing involved in any business you're looking for, that is a very good opportunity to grab because here the seller themselves are willing to risk their funds. So let's say this business is asking 1.8 million. If they're giving you 30% seller financing, which is $560,000, the seller is risking that $560,000 just to give you the financing, and not only risking, they're also saying that it's a promise, it's a promising business that the seller is willing to give you. They're willing to support you over there because it's a promising business that you will make the money. Nobody, if you find a business which everything is good, but the seller aren't financing, so you have to do your due diligence more. Unless it's SBA approved, unless you have a lender, commercial lender willing to give you. But whenever you see a business with seller financing, grab it. Just grab it because that is a very, very good opportunity you want to get into. Okay. So that is that. And let's see what we got. Uh, that's it. So if you have any questions or concerns, sign the NDA, my friends, please. Here we go. 70% down with 30%, 8% over 24 months. Okay, so let's say you want 48 months. I'm not saying that the seller is going to say no. Of course, he's going to take it, but you got to propose that offer from there. So, how does the offer work? I'll take you step by step procedure. Number one is to sign the non disclosure. Once the disclosure is signed, we send you the same for the business. So this is the BLI. The SIM is more updated, has a lot more information than what you see in the BLI. Once you sign the SIM, once you revise the SIM, the next approach is to get on a phone call with the seller. Go with everything that you see on the SIM. You see the financials of the business, you have everything. Prepare all the questions you have, and then we get you on a phone call, a conference call with the seller. ask whatever questions you want. If there's any questions the seller feels or we feel that it is to be asked during the due diligence period, we are going to let you know. Excuse me. But feel free to ask your questions. Once the questions is asked, take your time. The next approach is to actually go and see the business. I don't want you to put a contract until you see the business, you understand the location, you understand the structure, you understand everything. Once you see the business, for looking at the business, we do require a copy of proof of funds, like I mentioned, whether it's cash, whether it's a lender, SBA loan. We got to make sure, because remember, SBA loan has certain rules and restrictions that needs to be done. So sometimes what happens is sellers do not prefer SBA, even though it is the safest loan out there. Why they don't want to do SBA is because the amount of time it takes to close on that deal. So some sellers don't want to be there 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Some sellers want it now, like give me now the money. Okay. So remember, all depends on what you have. We give it to the seller, and then the seller decides from there how they want to move forward. Once that information is given, we give you a tour of the fish farm. You have a look. Of course, if you want a couple of tilapia fishes to take home with you, I'll take care of that at my expense. But yeah, there's a lot of fishes, man. There's thousands of fishes. I was like, "Wow, nice, very, very interesting concept." After you do the tour of the fish farm, you feel like this is the business we want to invest. Send us a letter of intent. First approach is send us a letter of intent. We are not going to go the whole process with the letter of intent. There will be no due diligence. Letter of intent is just to make a proposal to the seller. Okay. We do get clients that say, oh no, I'm not going to do a contract. We're going to do everything through letter of intent. The seller doesn't want that, doesn't want to waste time, because a lot of time gets wasted through a letter of intent. So LOI is just and strictly for the proposal. So it's a proposal offer. This is my offer. These are my conditions. This. We give it to the seller. Seller might accept it, or seller may counter offer, and we renegotiate the terms of the letter of intent. Once that is accepted, we immediately go to a contract. Immediately. With the contract, depends what the seller is asking for an escrow, whether it's 5% or 25%, depends. If there's too much demand on that business, seller might ask for more escrow. And once the contract is signed, then we move forward with the landlord. You do your due diligence, whatever time you need for a business like this. You shouldn't need a lot, but whatever you need, you have to be fully satisfied. Once the diligence is done, if you decide to back out, and of course, if I will be representing you or my team will be representing you, we will give you full guidance and support, and we're going to tell you when to back out, or if we have to extend the due diligence, we are going to guide and support you every step of the way so that you don't lose your escrow deposit. We're not here for the seller only, we're here for you also. So we work both ways. We work as transaction brokers, means we work both sides of the deals. Normally, commercial agents and business brokers, they strictly work both sides of the deal. And when you decide that, yes, okay, this is the perfect business, in the due diligence period, whatever negotiations need to be done is done, and then you move forward and then to closing. Now, there's two options here that I didn't mention. One is that the seller is willing to stay after the sale of the business. So let's say you are an absentee owner. You are the person with a lot of cash, but you don't have time to manage such a business. So the seller is okay to manage the business for you as long as you want, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, lifetime. There's no lifetime, but whatever the age is for both sides. But the seller is willing to stay on. Of course, you will have to pay the seller as a manager, whatever proposal is. Second thing is, uh, this land is actually owned by the seller. That's why the land is for sale. If you decide that you don't want to purchase the real estate, you just want to purchase the fish farm. So I've already told you what the value of both is, right? 960, 900. We have to value it, the market value again, based on right now it's at 60,000. Since the market is falling down, it might go to, I don't know, 50, 45, or it might even go the opposite way. You don't know. We have to do the valuation. But if you decide that you just want to buy the fish farm and you want to do a uh, monthly rental. You can pay a monthly rental on this one. I believe it's set up at $25,000 per month. It's a huge farm, man. It's almost 14-acre farm. Let me see. I saw it somewhere. Yeah, the lease. There you go. The lease amount per month is $25,000. So you can have the seller manage the business for you. In additional, you have to give the seller 25,000 a month if you don't want to buy the whole concept. You just want to buy the business and you say, you know what, I don't want to get into the this one, the real estate. I mean, the seller prefers selling the real estate, but if that's not the case, then the seller is open both ways for you to you can buy the business, let's say. I'm not gonna give you a number. I don't want to get in trouble. but, but just use your imagination, what I'm trying to say. And basically, make a proposal and 25,000 a month, and you pay the seller if you want him to manage the business for you for whatever X number of time, years. Um, or you want to make the seller as a partner. The good thing, what I like about this seller is he is very flexible. He's not here to just like, hey, give me the money and let's go. No, he's very flexible, very down to earth person. I tell you, when you meet this person, my friends, you're gonna say, wow, I never knew a person like this can exist in today's world. Okay. Even even I'm not like him, but a very, very interesting, very, very interesting individual, um, willing to work. Okay. So this is one of his listings. He has another fish farm in Miami. This one he's asking is on a 4.72 acres. This one also includes the real estate. It's asking 2.2 and basically a little bit less over here. You have about 30 active tilapia full pools. Again, NDA. Inventory is not included. Let me see. Maybe no, no. In this one, the inventory of $600,000 worth of fishes is included in the asking price, and competition, no competition. Let me tell you something about Miami. Miami is a growing industry. It's going crazy. There is like absolutely no land left in Miami. So if you do a fish farm over there in Miami and you continue it for another few years, I'm telling you, man, you can make millions, millions from this land by selling it to to these builders, man. Not only that, uh, people here in Miami are getting very clever because see, if you are in a location, let me just share with you some knowledge here. New York, New Jersey, California, Miami, any of these big cities where the land is very fierce, that there's nothing, you can't find nothing. What you can do really is if you decide to sell, of course you're gonna get the highest possible price. But what you really need to do, my friends, you have to you have to put yourself as a partner in that deal. Because you don't want to take the money today and walk away. No, you take that money, no problem. Whatever you're getting, you take that money and you walk. But because you sold that property to whoever, you want to be part of that for the amount of time that. So let's say a builder comes in and he builds a building, money is going upwards. There's no the space is this much. This is how they make money, is going upwards in the sky. Free real estate, but you still make money. So you can become a partner in whoever that investor is, and you can make a lot of money. I should get paid for sharing this knowledge with you, but it's okay, man. I'm blessed with whatever God has given me. I'm blessed. I really thank God for that. But when I say becoming a partner is, let's say they did a luxury condominium, you can probably get your hands in um, in the maintenance fee. You can probably get a percentage in the maintenance fee. Let's say 1%, 3%, whatever that is. Why? Because you sold that property to whoever because it's a demanding area. And when a property, look, a lot of investors are not going to agree, but a smart investor is going to give it to you. I'm telling you, this is what's going on in Miami. It's crazy the way the commercial industry is. And listen, even if you get 3%, let's say a luxury condominium, and you got 3% of the maintenance fee. The maintenance fee here is like, I mean, it's probably not as expensive as New York or California, but still, if a condo maintenance fee is, let's say, $1,800, you get even 1%, $180 per unit, and they got 200 units over there every single month. Wouldn't you take it? Man, I would jump on that opportunity. But whenever you hold real estate in a prime location, don't sell it because you're getting the top dollars for it. Think long term. Think you, your kids, your spouse, their kids, and their kids, and generations after generations can enjoy because of the one the one idea you thought and how you structure that. Okay, very very important stuff, man. um this is where this land is, prime location. Okay, it's located in Homestead, Florida. Now in Homestead, Florida, a lot of land over there is agriculture. There's some houses, but I've noticed that slowly surrounding the Homestead area, this lot of developers are coming in. Now, the developers aren't just in real estate in the residential. Some of these developers are in the commercial, like really huge projects. Okay. So this place right here, my friend, is a gold mine. What is it? A gold mine, maybe diamonds, is maybe oil. Okay. Uh, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. My name is Sanjay Wadhwani at KMF Business Advisors, and you can call me 954-864-9161. Thank you. You can scan the QR code behind me if you want to get a hold of me, or you can go call me. All right. Very good. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you. Bye bye.